No, I'm not.
Disagreement. Okay, so you're not a socialist.
No, I'm not a socialist. I'm
Okay,
a
so
communist. That's why it says commie.
oh,
Not a
are you?
socialist, I'm a
Look, I
communist.
can't tell if
What's
you're
the
joking or not.
difference? Explain to it.
I actually feel like mainstream people who call themselves socialists are actually communists, but they're too scared to say that they're communists.
Oh no. This might be over. This might be over for piss constipation, dude. This might actually be over for piss constipation. Oh my god.
So they call themselves a socialist because right now that's kind of like where the cultural zeitgeist is permissible
True.
of.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we're good. Okay, I'm good on that. I'm good on that one. Oh. Oh. Oh no. Oh god. Oh god, this is like, oh. Dude, I don't, oh, my heart can't take this, dude. Oh, I need medication. Oh god. You're currently seeing my live reaction, live first time reaction to this. Oh, it's fucking over. I can't. Oh, okay, Jesus Christ. Hold on, bear back. I gotta get like a fucking water bottle or some shit. Okay. Oh, fuck. Hold on. I'm gonna get a fucking water bottle from the fridge. This was too brutal. Oh my god, too brutal to handle. Oh, dude, this is. Oh my god, this is. Oh. I'm good. I'm ready for a Pisco to soy out for the next 5 minutes.
Hold on, before everyone, hold on. I have to ask correctly. Stop.
Wait,
I'm asking you, Pisco.
so
Is that sufficient evidence to you?
No,
No, that her saying I'm a commie is not sufficient evidence that she's a communist?
The answer is I know that Aaron says she's a commie, and Stephen, you.
I changed the title of the stream.
You can tell he's fucking soying the fuck out because I acknowledge that Aaron has said that she's a commie. It's a position she's had.
This is evil, okay? Making your opponent go through the effort of fighting something and holding the debate up is evil, okay? Don't say this for any other thing except for evil, okay? This is like the definition of evil behavior, okay? Making your opponent go through the effort of doing something like this in order to dig up a clip like this is evil, okay? It's not just ignorant. It's not just ignorant, okay? It's not just stupid. It's not just, oh, he's panicking or whatever. It's evil, okay? So he knew for a fact, okay? He knew for a fact that Aaron was a commie. So he lied at first, then made Destiny dig up the clip himself, even though he knows that this exists. It's evil. I'm sorry. It's like, that is the definition of evil. Watching someone you truly dislike, okay, watching someone you dislike go through the extra trouble and watching like the pain, or trying to make them go through extra stress, or putting them on the spot for something like this is evil. It's evil, all right? It's literally evil, okay?
The question wasn't, is she a commie or not? And you are the one who says, by the way, Stephen, your whole point is you can't just go
You're
off the label.
absolutely cooked on this. You are smoking. Your corpse is smoldering on this.
Destiny, wasn't it you
smoldering?
Wait, Destiny, didn't you just say
You're about to pull out the most pedantic argument we've ever heard in our entire life.
Destiny,
she said, I think socialists are too scared to identify as communists, implying that it's a more radical position. But go ahead. Yes, go ahead. Save us.
Oh my god, guys. Can we get to 200 concurrent viewers? Can we do it, guys?
Yeah, what do you got?
Yeah. Did you just say before that you should not take the label to be indicative of whether that person is the thing? Did you say that?
I said it's not necessarily. It doesn't mean they're not, but not necessarily. So for instance, when she labels herself as a communist and then she supplies additional argumentation saying, I call myself a communist because I think that most socialists are too scared to even call themselves that, that would be an additional argument for the label. Yeah.
Stephen, I just one more question. Yesterday, did you say that all socialists are communists? Yes or no?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think that all socialists are necessarily communists.
You did say that.
What does it have to do with the conversation that we're having right now?
So did you have
what does that have to do?
Same position? Did you have the exact same position that Aaron just had? They'll get the clip yesterday. You saying all communists are socialists. You did say that.
I probably also said all MAGA are like pedophiles. You think I actually genuinely 100% believe that all MAGA are pedophiles?
Yeah, so you aligned.
Dude, this is the end of Pisco's career. He can't move past this. He can't move past this. He can't, right? Right? This has to be the end of his career. Right? Right? Right, guys. Like, the thing is that now whenever he mentions Destiny, or now whenever like Destiny and him beef based off of now Destiny could just pull out the trump card, right? Destiny could just pull out the trump card. It's over. It's fucking over, dude. You could just pull out the trump card. It's over.
Right then, or you right now? Were you right then, or you right now? Were you right then, or you right?
No, I know. He can stream through it. No, I recognize that. But Pisco is way too egotistical to simply let this go. I think he's gonna be talking about this forever and then go into like oblivion. All right, maybe. All right, because he's so filled with toxic masculinity, you know? Like Pisco is so filled with toxic masculinity that I don't know if he's able to stream through it. Yikes.
Right well, now, if it's like a serious conversation where somebody's trying to tease out my political beliefs, so I could, like when Aaron was in.
Oh my god, and it makes sense. It also makes sense why Hutch was so quiet on this. He probably was quiet on this is because he also sees this as the end of Pisco's career, right? Right? He has to look at this and go like, oh. Right?
Quite a bit of beliefs there. It's probably going to be a lot more serious than me just saying like fucking socialists or communists or whatever, right? For instance, when Econo Boy earlier asked me, do you think that I'm like a techie or whatever? Like, no, I don't think so. I think Econo Boy is genuinely where he's at politically. So I've already disproved the quote mining you're trying to get me on. I don't think Econo Boy is a secret fucking communist.
So yesterday, everyone can see it.
Notice how you've moved off, just so everyone can see. He's desperately trying to quote mine a four-word quote to get out the fact that his co-host is actually a Marxist-Leninist. The issue is that Pisco didn't even know what Marxist-Leninist was until like 2 days ago, which is why when somebody brought it up in the conversation, he's like, wait, do you mean Marxist or do you mean Leninist? Or when somebody said white terror, he thought white terror, you mean hate crimes? Like, what does that mean, right? You're trying desperately to assassinate a single quote, but the reality is you just don't really know much about these political ideologies, which is great and fine, but that's why people able to use and abuse you guys on these programs. You don't know anything about them.
Hold on.
So yesterday,
this is an execution. It's so sad. This is actually really sad. I'm sorry. This is like, okay, I'm being a little bit performative, obviously. I'm very performative, okay? But like, Dude, I'm sorry. I cannot deny. There's a part of me that really thinks that this is extremely depressing. Like, fuck me, dude. I don't know if I can watch this. This is like, I feel like I'm watching someone like actually like grieve in real time. You know how someone's like close loved ones die, and then they just begin like grieving and crying and sobbing. Like, this is kind of what it looks like. It kind of looks like someone is like can't accept the fact that a loved one is gone, you know?
And he said, socialists are communists. There's no distinction. He said there's no distinction between socialists and communists. And now,
was he being literal, or was he talking about power levels?
So this is the
Let
now.
these guys finish,
The hope
please.
is, it's all jokes when you can't hold anything to Steven, obviously, because there's always fucking some opposite quote or something, and that he's just joking.
No,
He's
I just don't have autism, so I can understand.
This is actually so easy. I can ask. Wait, hold on. Wait, we can do this right now. We can do this right now. Hold on. I'm not even going to appeal to the moderator. Econo Boy, do you think that I think that socialists and communists are the exact same thing?
No, probably not.
I mean, I do.
Okay.
I think they both suck.
There you go.
Oh, okay,
Easy.
so-
Wow, crazy. Crazy how that works, huh? That's your debate partner, by the way, not even the moderator.
So what did you mean when you said that, actually?
I don't know. What was the context of the quote?
I already know the context of the quote because I already saw the fucking clip. He was talking about power level. He was saying that fucking he's saying that socialists hide their power levels. They're actually communists. He's saying that fucking sock dems are hiding their power levels. They're actually
Which
socialists.
is funny because
He's
that's what
saying
Aaron
that
just
social
said. She said I think a lot of
Democrats
socialists
are
are
hiding their
communists,
power
but they
levels.
lie
This is
about
really
it.
progressive.
Crazy cope,
And
crazy
by the
cope,
way,
crazy
cope,
by
yeah.
the way,
distinctions within-
shut the fuck up, piece.
Listen, I know, okay, I understand. Pisco could be a very successful content creator if he just focuses on making political commentary, all right? But this will haunt him for the rest of his days. It's over.
So you've been talking for 20 minutes. I waited my turn.
Yeah.
Okay. So by the
Dude, Econoboy is probably thinking like, oh god, it can't be me, okay? Fuck. Like this is like, oh, you have to choose one to live, and then Econoboy just pushes Pisco onto the tracks. It's like, I'm sorry, Pisco. I'm sorry, Pisco. I can't go down with you, Pisco. I can't go down with you.
way, this backs up your argument. You've said that social democrats are everybody who identifies as a socialist is actually a social democrat.
So now when you get caught, now there's shades of
it's
gray.
hyperbole,
And
you
now,
autist.
so now when you get caught, now the shades
I'm
of
not
gray
caught in
matter.
shit. I'm
and-
describing
Let
and
Pisco
when
go.
you-
Hold on, let Pisco finish. Pisco, finish your thought.
So now when you get caught with the contradiction, now it's like, oh, okay, I guess not all socialists are these fucking Marxist-Leninists. I guess that when you call yourself a socialist, it doesn't really matter. So you get caught on that shit, and now you're taking the position that socialism is a broader term. It doesn't just mean the tankies. It doesn't just mean the Marxist-Leninists. You're absolutely correct.
Wick, from the very beginning of this conversation, didn't I say that socialism can encompass a lot of different things?
Wait, hang on a second.
Why do you think you're...
I don't know.
Wait, hold on, wait. Can somebody give me the transcript? So if I just reread things that you said at the beginning of the debate and then I repeat them in a condescending voice, am I making like a really good point?
The answer is I don't know. So if you acknowledge that there are shades of gray socialism, then there are some socialists that you would absolutely have within the fold, wouldn't it?
No. Just like there might be shades of gray classical liberalism, but if somebody calls themselves a classical liberal and then they associate with exclusively Nazis, I probably wouldn't allow that person to be within my fold.
Okay, cool. So
notice how that was a one-to-one analogy and you're kind of like, oh yeah, fuck it.
No, it's not one-to-one. It's not one-to-one. No. I'll explain why it's not one-to-one. I'll explain why it's not one-to-one because Econoboy points you to a tradition, a piece.
I don't know, dude. This is just... The debate was already over. The debate is over, dude. It's just... It's already done.
Full, robust tradition of socialists in Western countries that don't include all the negatives that Nazism by its sort of
because they're house cats who can't eat your face yet. Because they're house cats who can't eat your face yet. Because they're house cats who can't eat your face yet.
So that's why it's not a one-to-one comparison because
let me ask
you that record and you want to ignore it.
But that's not true though because a lot of people would say
hold on.
somebody like Reagan was a fascist and we came out okay from having Reagan as president. You're laughing now, but people abuse the term fascist, so they talk about Bush as being a fascist as well. And guess what? We survived that as well. And so if people want to say that they were socialists or whatever, that's fine. But guess what? All of this worked under the fascists and the socialists together. Guess what? It worked under a liberal capitalist government. And that's the type of thing that I think we should be defending. Not a full-on socialist government, because that's always been a fucking shit show. And not a full-on fascist government, because that's always been a full-on fucking shit show.
I have a question for Econoboy. I have a question for Econoboy. So, do you extend that you laid out the history of socialism, but when...
Oh, Allah, please spare this man. from eternal damnation.
Straighterade, who does a show with Pisco, right, calls herself a communist. Do you extend that to communism? To communists are just these things that can coexist with liberal democracies?
Okay, so I'll answer the question directly. Even Marx himself, this is a direct quote from Marx, said that things like lower stage communism would be.
Now we're quoting Marx? Now we're quoting Marx? What? Huh?
Stamped with the society
This is just really sad. This is like extremely depressing.
that we lived in the past. Okay, now what he meant by that was that lower stage communism, as communism comes into being, that during that process, the stamps of the current society that we live in will be present in lower stage communism. What he meant by that,
a historical example of a communist.
Pisco, if I could go back in time, I would disconnect your internet. Okay, you can blame it on a DDoS attack.
Party
Pull the Hassan strat. Listen, you already dug your toes in deep with Hassan, okay? Just pull the Hassan strat already.
Taking power and in a liberal democracy surviving.
I'm telling you what the most famous foundational thinker of communism literally thought communism was.
I just want a historical
now, your question was, could communism exist within liberal frameworks? Okay. Marx himself advocated for many things that we would call liberal. He said things like freedom of speech, the equality of people, the fundamental freedom of people to coexist with each other were important characteristics of communism as it comes into being, and communism when we get to like supposedly the final stage of communism. So to answer your question, yes, liberal values would exist.
Which country where
Can you admit that I just answered your first question at the very least? That I directly answered your first question? Sure. I needed an acknowledgement.
My follow-up question. Okay. My follow-up question matters too, right?
What's your follow-up question
after you ask that is, okay, if that's possible, give me an example in the real world where it's happened, where a communist party has come to power and a liberal democracy has survived.
The only example that I'm familiar with, and I'm not totally familiar with the history of here, obviously I've been focusing on European experiments, the Kerala province in India, which like tens of
the Kerala
millions of people.
Liberal democracy, real world where it's happened, where a communist party has come to power and a liberal democracy has survived.
The only example that I'm familiar with, and I'm not totally familiar with the history of here, obviously I've been focusing on European experiments, the Kerala province in India, which like tens of millions of people live in, has been run by communists for basically the last 50 years, and they're actually a Marxist-Leninist party, and they operate in democratic.
Where Megalo? Where Megalo? Where Megalo? India? I've never even heard of that country before. Is it a bigger country than the United States? No? I don't care. Is it one of the white Western countries? No? I don't care. Is the overall a liberal democratic country that is the whole country, not just one region? No? I don't care. Where Megalo?
Frameworks, and they do basically, they have a liberal kind of style system of government within their general ethos. Now they are Marxist-Leninists, right? And I'll admit, I could be misunderstanding the area of Kerala because I'm not totally familiar with the region. But they do have elections, and they do have elections, and they do call themselves communist. Their leader is literally a guy named Stalin.
Yeah. The reason I'm asking.
Wait, what?
Familiar with the region,
but
they do have elections, and they do have elections, and they do call themselves communist. Their leader is literally a guy named Stalin.
Yeah. The reason.
This has to be a joke, right? Like, hold on. No fucking way, guys. No fucking way. Guys. No fucking way, dude. MK Stalin. He's real. Matuval Karamnandi Stalin is an Indian politician and a former acting serving as the 8th and current chief minister of Tamil Nadu since 2021. He is the third son of the former chief minister M. Harinandi. His son Nayandi serving as the deputy chief. Stalin has been the president of the Dravida Munitra Hazagam party. This is the example. This is the example you're going with. Is an Indian guy named Stalin? What? Wait, what? President MK Stalin? The party is the Rising Sun? Dude, are you actually fucking kidding? Econoboy. This is not it. Okay? I'm sorry, but MK Stalin is not it. Okay? This guy named MK Stalin is not it. Alright?
I'm asking this, and I'll give it to you, Pisco. But I want to explain the reason I asked this question. The reason I asked this question is because the whole debate is about, right, like the accusation against you and against the Conoboy is that you're giving cover to people who want to infect the Democrats.
Dude, just keep in mind the entire point. Okay, dude, I just actually can't believe that they're making these arguments. Like I'm sorry. There's no fucking shot you're making this argument. There's no fucking shot they're making this argument. I refuse to believe it. I refuse to fucking believe it. Okay? There's no shot this is a good faith argument. No shot. Like, you're telling me as an example, as a good example, you're gonna name something where the leader's name is Stalin? Stalin? You're gonna name something in which the leader's name's Stalin. Okay,
Democratic Party with things, illiberal values that we would be against, that would destroy democracy, right? And your co-host has just admitted, at least we saw on 4K, that she is a communist, a full-on communist.
Actually,
wait, but when you say she's just admitted, you understand that I know, and I've never represented, and it wasn't an own for anyone to put up a clip of her calling herself a communist. But the reason why it was done and presented that way is because as though it were contradictory, when the whole point I was making is show some basis that she's a Marxist-Leninist. Now you can say, Wick, as you are trying to imply, that historically it's impossible, this kind of society is impossible. That's fine, that's not a contradiction, right? There are a lot of anarcho-communists or anarcho-capitalists.
Econoboy's point is that regardless of the name they operate democratically and don't attend violent revolutions, their name doesn't disprove that. Counterpoint. MK Stalin.
Where you could say, show me one place where anarcho...
Also, okay, fine. I'll answer in a good faith way. Yes, I can totally recognize that, but at the same time, you can't seriously think that a place in India, number one, it's a place in India where the demographics don't match, maybe their material conditions don't even match, even like the outer range of the operating government doesn't match as well, right? There's a lot of things in which you even have to like get right, like keep the same conditions in order to prove that it works, right? You can't just say, oh yeah, the only time in which a communist like regime worked is under some guy named MK Stalin. Wait a second, not that Stalin, another Stalin. What? How do you not sound absolutely fucking ridiculous? And if anything, remember, okay, considering how we already established prior that socialism and communism is different, okay, fine, let's just say they're different. Why the fuck are you bringing up a fucking communist movement that is successful? Why aren't you bringing up a socialist movement that's successful? Why did you go to communism? Doesn't that prove Destiny's point more? Doesn't that prove Destiny's point more that all socialists are just mask on communists? right? Doesn't that prove Destiny's Point more? So in effect, Econoboy just fucking self-owned himself, right?
Libertarianism or anarcho-capitalism or anarcho-communism has worked, and it hasn't descended into chaos and some kind of kingship or some kind of thing. And yeah, you can be against them, but you would not call an anarcho-capitalist a fascist or a tyrant or an authoritarian just because there's no example of it working. It would be inaccurate to call someone, even if they're deluded, even if they think like, okay, my way will work, all these other times they did it wrong, that it's not accurate to call that anarcho-capitalist or that anarcho-communist a tanky. It's just not. And I think that you must acknowledge that. Like, if you acknowledge that, for example, in the Spanish Civil War, anarcho-communists were communists were killing each other over these like differences in ideology and the support of Russia.
I take your point. No, I take your point, but like when I say communist, I mean what's the Marxist-Leninists. That's what I mean. Whether it's technically true or accurate, right? Just like as you said,
you don't care. You don't care if it's true.
Socialist people define it broadly and mean different things. What I'm assuming most people mean, right, when they say they're a communist, is they're a Marxist-Leninist.
Right. So why don't we just get past the semantics and actually get to the actual prescriptions?
I do have one more clip.
Let's get past the semantics and just say, all right, in terms of prescriptions, what do we want? Like, do you want me to cancel a show with Econoboy because he labels himself a socialist? Do you want me to stop interacting with anyone who labels himself a communist, or hosting a show with that? So what do you actually want?
That's not any of my advocacy.
I want you to own them in the marketplace of ideas.
But I do have one more clip we have to play, so if we can watch that just real quick.
And by the way, that's fine. I mean, like, if you want me to be serious about this, right, and not like be bad faith or anything, I think it's actually fine to still have a show called Live and Learn with a socialist. But first of all, like, people would just look at you weird, and second of all, you better be countering this guy at like every given moment, right? You better be like showing that you're definitely not part of this guy's team, right? Like, it's okay to have a socialist on your show for the sake of discourse, right? There's no point in like who cares, right? Like, if you want someone there for the sake of entertainment, why not, right? But the thing is that at the ending of the day, you have to make a differentiation between this person and like yourself, right? And as far as I'm concerned, there isn't some kind of meaningful differentiation made between the liberals on Live and Learn and the left-leaners on Live and Learn, except whenever Hutch makes a disagreement, right?
30 who makes at least 150 grand a year, and you're still embarrassed to take your shirt off at the pool.
And issue by issue, I'll be able to tell you, because that's going to be more clarifying than just giving you a label.
Are you
because people just project onto it whatever they want.
Are you in favor of abolishing private property?
Oh yeah, I am.
Okay, well that's pretty simple.
You say these things and you have this tone of voice. It's like
you can't
like
tell
a smirk.
She's serious
so I can't tell if you're
not,
being sarcastic or not.
She's so serious.
I know.
No, I'm dead serious on that one. I am. But
so,
I guess
Is this what we wanted to see?
Yeah. What's the contradiction there?
I don't know. All right, what's the next topic?
Contradiction, right? Wait. So you understand, as part of your definition, right? As part of your definition for what socialism meant, it entailed people being against private property, and private property here meaning capital, all right, the means of production. So that is not inconsistent with someone being not a Marxist.
AOC represents some sort of like socialist revolution in America. Like, dude, I
do you agree?
wish.
Yes or no, Stephen?
I mean, I don't know.
Do what?
Do you agree, yes or no, that just because someone's in favor of the abolishment of private property, that doesn't necessarily make them a Marxist-Leninist?
Not necessarily, but
She literally says she is a Marxist-Leninist. She says this that she is one unironically, and then she said she is in favor of abolishing all property. Guys, this is lethal amounts of copium. Like, this is actually just straight up lethal amounts of copium. Like, I have never seen anyone cope this hard, okay? I don't even think this is conceivable. I don't know whether or not like this amount of copium is possible, like in the first place.
But if you're too scared to call yourself, or if you say you don't want to be a socialist, but you are more extreme than that and you're a communist, if you say that you're in favor of like the abolition of private property, if you say, we don't have to watch it, I guess, but our last clip is, and I'm sure you'll explain this one too, when you say things like, oh yeah, I wish AOC would like a socialist revolution in the United States, where revolution historically is like aligned with a violent revolutionary overthrow of the capital class.
AOC says revolution. The politicians themselves are going to say,
this is the issue, and this is exactly why I said earlier I don't think AOC should call herself a socialist, because this is the game. This is like the meme, right? I don't think AOC means a violent revolution when she says it. I don't think so. But like this is the game that you end up playing.
But Aaron does.
Absolutely, yes.
Aaron does mean violent
of course, yes.
Yeah. And that's based on what? So why are you distinguishing how AOC says it and Aaron says it? You justify that. Go.
Because when Aaron says it,
I'm sorry. Hey guys, do you guys remember when when AOC said, oh guys, I'm a Marxist-Leninist unironically, and then she also then said after that, I'm for the abolishment of like the private means of production and whatever. Do you guys remember when AOC said that? Oh wait, she didn't say that. What?
Says that she thinks that most socialists would be communists, but they're too scared to say it publicly, implying that her position is more radical than what most socialists would admit to.
Entailment there. That doesn't mean
anything.
Hold on.
Wait. When somebody said, do you think? No, stop. Do you think it's more likely that it's more radical or less radical when she says that? What do you think that means when she says, I think most people wouldn't own being? No, I want you to explain that. When she says, I don't think most people would own being communist publicly, so they call themselves socialists. What does she mean when she says that?
I think she says that communism has a particularly negative connotation and denotation, sort of embodied.
She said, She said, I am this. I am that. Right? Dude, honestly, Pisco would have a way better time saying like, oh, Straighter Aid is in fact a communist, but that doesn't like, and I have good liberal discussions with her, right? Like even though she is a communist, I have good discussions with her. So I don't see what's wrong with that, right? Like, oh, she still talks about policy. She still is like a person of good faith. She still does whatever and whatever, right? At least he could have said that and salvaged his image, right? But now what it comes off as is that he is just complete and utter denial and lying. He's lying. He's actively lying.
In the definition, but that doesn't imply. That's just saying that she thinks that the distinction between a socialist and a communist doesn't make sense.
This is a Hassan game. This is ridiculous. Like socialist doesn't have a negative distinction in the United States, but communist does. Like what a delusional take. Like this is fucking retarded.
Wait. You acknowledge I didn't just say that, right?
What you said that the reason why you might say
I didn't.
That's what I heard. Restate it. No. You said you made it sound like communism has a negative connotation versus socialism. I don't think there is one.
Did you acknowledge that what I said there was comparative? I said comparing socialism and the term communism. And do you agree that communism has a more negative connotation than socialism? Yes or no?
Not meaningfully, no.
You don't think that the term communism? So you don't think there's a meaningful distinction in the connotation of communism?
The fact that she showed up in Canvas means she's one of the good ones. I mean, unironically, kind of true, right? Like the thing is that again, I'm also consistent on this. Okay, if any communist or socialist shows up at a canvassing event and actually like contributes meaningfully in some way in good faith, why would I turn them down? There's no reason for me to turn them down. But I'm certainly not going to accept any of your ideology into the stuff that I do, whatever, right? Exactly.
Yeah. Socialism in this country.
No.
He did in fact choose. Sorry, I said she because he's getting like raped right now. But like he did in fact choose like the worst line of argumentation.
There is not a single person in the United States where you go, hey, somebody's like, are you a communist? You're like, oh no, I'm not a communist. I'm a socialist. And I'm like, oh, whew. No, that's fucking stupid. And there's not a single group in the United States where you're hanging around a bunch of people who are like, oh, I'm socialist. And you're like, oh, you're socialist? I'm actually a communist. And I'm like, oh, that guy's too much rest. So no, this is fucking stupid. It's such a stupid.
Stephen, you and I live in a different country. Okay. Obviously, so the proof is in the pudding. Do you think that Mamdani would have won the Democratic primary if he called himself a communist?
I don't know, maybe.
Okay, I don't think he would have won. I think that there's a much more negative connotation on the term communist and they're socialist. And I don't even think that your audience, as sycophantic as it is, would deny that.
What?
I think right of Biden, these are synonyms.
I mean,
as sycophantic as it is. Hello? Anti-fan art?
Well, I think it's okay. To be fair, I think it's obviously the case that, I mean, intuitively, right? I think there's a reason why a shitload of people in America identify themselves as socialists, but not communist, right? Like, I think that there probably is both an ideological disagreement with people
That's you guys, by the way. All right. When Pisco is insulting, that's you guys.
who would generally call themselves communists, and also generally much more of a stigma for people who label themselves as communism. If these things were substantially the same and had substantially the same amount of stigma, then obviously you'd see a significant, basically mixture of those two. But
because I think you're allowed.
You'd see a significant mixture of those things, but you don't. You see overwhelmingly people calling themselves socialists.
Because you're allowed to attach yourself like a cancer onto the democratic movement. That's why we have all these cute and clever words of like social democrat and democratic socialist, and like you have all these cute ways to attach yourself to the democratic movement.
Why don't they?
Yeah, why don't they be communist?
Why don't they call themselves democratic communists then? Like it would be.
Because that's not the term that took hold. I don't know. Maybe eventually they'll make their way over there. I don't know why. If they use communist instead of socialism, we'd be like, why are they calling themselves?
It's so beyond everything. So right now, you know that you're cooking on this point. You know but you can't optically. Right now, you can.
You just heard your code.
Did he just say you know you're cooked on this point? Did I didn't just hear that, did I? I must be imagining things. I'm delusional. I am hallucinating.
Say that they were for the abolition of private property, and they wish that more people would identify as communists, but they're too scared to do so publicly. And you don't think that they're like radical as fuck in terms of the Marxist-Leninist shit.
Right? So even when everyone, not even Connor will defend you on the point, my butt cell, he won't defend you on the point that communism doesn't have a more connotative, like negative,
I already said it did, but I don't think it's like meaningfully more negative. Okay. Why are you saying? Oh, did you miss? Really? Did you not hear me say that earlier? Did you not say it's not more meaningfully?
No. So I'm obviously saying meaningfully more different.
This is just really sad, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
It's meaningfully different.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. I would like an opportunity to speak because I've been nice and quiet for a while.
Before you do,
fuck my ass.
I do have a question for the panel. If Straighterade wanted to come on and be interrogated about these things, would that be okay with
love to talk to Straighterade.
Okay.
I would say do it after because fuck all that. Do it after if you want.
We have to talk about Hassan, don't we? I mean, we'll talk about Hassan. So what I want to talk about is like, all right. So take
hold on.